Hi, I'm Chris from Allianz Insurance. Today I'm here with Phil Dale, our professional driver coach. Together, we're going to take you through what the basic things are to move you from an experienced car driver to a first-time minibus driver. These sessions that we're about to do not take the place of one-on-one professional driver coaching. They're designed to support and supplement your organisation's induction program. At the end of this, we hope that you'll feel less stressed about your first time driving one of these buses, more comfortable for you and your passengers, and hopefully reduce your chances of being involved in an incident. So, Phil, the car I usually drive is a small hatchback like this one.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things I need to know when I'm moving from this car to the minibus?
Well, let's go over and have a look. Now that we've got both the vehicles parked side by side, it's become quite obvious that there are a number of differences between each vehicle. If we take a look, and we can see that the bus is probably about a metre higher. It's also around about a metre longer. We can also see that the wheelbase between the car and the bus are in a different position. Another point that we need to take into consideration is the driver's seat. In the car is a lot lower and back, and in the bus it's a lot higher in a different position. Righto. So as we walk up to the vehicle, we're checking to see whether we actually have any oil or fluid leaks underneath the vehicle. We have a look at the tyres, check that they're inflated, there's no wear, cracks or missing broken parts, any damage to the bus. Windows are clean. Again, the tyres. As we walk around the back of the bus, looks okay, everything's in place. We can get somebody to give us a hand to check the indicators, brake lights and reverse lights. Make sure that they're all operating. Walk down this side, no damage. Tyres look okay, inflation's there. Mirrors are okay and clean. Tyres again. No big cracks or anything missing on the windscreen. And that's your quick check, pre-operational check. Part of our vehicle inspection is to check the inside of the vehicle. So let's go into the vehicle and we'll have a look what checks we need to do. So as we come into the vehicle, we have a look through, make sure there's nothing loose or floating around on the floor. Check all the headrests to make sure all the headrests are in place. If they're not in place, don't sit somebody on the seat. Then the next most important thing is to check the seat belts. So we want to check the seat belts to make sure that they clip in, they do up and they retract. So these ones are clipped in and retractable. These ones are already been done. I'll just work from the back and then come forward. Yep, this back one's okay. This other back one's okay. This side one's okay. I'll just check this one. Okay. Now, this one's twisted and it won't come out. So it looks as though, so this one is not operational. It needs to retract all the way back in. Nobody can sit in this seat as it's not safe. This needs to be reported to your supervisor or your fleet person and needs to be fixed immediately, otherwise the vehicle's not roadworthy.
One of the traps for new bus drivers is when it comes to refueling time and putting the wrong fuel into the bus. So my normal vehicle is a petrol vehicle, and because humans are creatures of habit, it's quite common for new drivers to pick up, say, the petrol nozzle and fill up a diesel tank with petrol, and that can create real problems. It can destroy the motor and potentially ride off the vehicle. So Phil, what's some of the things that we can do to prevent that?
Well, we can see if it's got a sticker on there.
This one's rare because it has actually got a sticker. So if your bus in your fleet hasn't already got a sticker, make sure you put one on there.
So we can check that we put the right nozzle in, like you just said, with the petrol compared to the diesel. There's also an adapter that can go in the fuel filler nozzle, which stops the wrong nozzle being put into the fuel.
Yeah, a number of our fleet clients are fitting these now as standard. So they get a new bus. These restrictor caps are less than $100 typically, and can potentially save the engine of the vehicle. And that's the cheapest form of insurance you're probably going to get.
Okay, so let's have a look at your seating position. We'll get you to put your seatbelt on. So seatbelt sits low, flat, and the slack taken out of it. Yep, that's great. We have a look at the headrest. The headrest is in line with your head. That's in place. That's good. Okay, so I'll get you to demonstrate how you position your hands on the wheel. Okay, so you just drive with one hand?
Oh, I usually put the other one down here like that.
Okay, can I just show you something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm just going to push you if that's okay.
Yep.
So you get your both hands on the wheels like that.
Mm-hmm.
What happened then?
I steered to the right, so my whole body moved.
Yep. So what I'll get you to do is put your left leg on the brace down there on the left-hand side of the footwell.
Oh, okay. Yep, I can feel that.
Both your hands are 10 and 2. Okay, how's that feel? Your seat in the right position? You feel okay?
That's good.
Okay, I'm going to push you again. How's that feel?
That was rock solid. Didn't move at all.
So that gives you better stability.
Right, that's much better.
Good.
So Phil, often what we hear is the word, or we see the word suddenly on a claim form after an incident happened. Suddenly the car in front of me stopped. Suddenly the car ahead of us decided to turn into a driveway or a side street, and I had no option but to run into the back of them, which doesn't really make sense. But so what's some of the ways that we can do to reduce our chances of running up the back of the car ahead?
So when we pull up, you can see I've stopped so we can see the tyres. So as the car moves off in front, the tyres move off, and we move off. Another thing is when you pull up behind a vehicle, give yourself enough space, buffeting in people from behind, making sure that everybody's seeing you and you're in a position there where you can stop and get out. So as we're going along, you notice that all these other vehicles are all pretty close to each other. I've got crash avoidance space, I've got plenty of space to stop if I need to. If someone's travelling too close behind me. I've got space to see what's happening at the traffic lights.
Phil, can you explain crash avoidance space?
So crash avoidance space is the space that you need your vehicle to be able to stop. So like in front of us now, I've got plenty of room to stop. So crash avoidance space is when it's the distance you need to stop, but it's also relevant to work it out in timing. So we're traveling along at 40 kilometers an hour and we need about 1.5 seconds of crash avoidance space. So you pick a mark on the road. Now let's pick this 60 kilometer an hour sign when the car goes past. 1001, 1002, yeah, close.
A large proportion of bus-related accident claims relate to car parks, specifically reversing out of a parking spot. While it's convenient and easy to drive forward into a parking spot up against the curb, it creates a whole lot of issues when you're trying to reverse out. Here's a typical example in a car park that creates a very risky situation. Wherever you can, reduce the need to reverse. Whenever possible, try and find a parking spot where you can enter and exit in a forward direction. It's a lot less stressful to leave, and it's a lot less likely to cause an incident. So at the moment I'm sitting in the back of the bus while someone else is driving, and I'm in the seat that's directly over the left-hand rear wheel. And this is the passenger seat that really feels everything, and so I can feel every time the bus goes over a little bump, which you can probably see by the movement in the camera, every time we go around a corner, and there's no armrests in this bus either, so you need to hang on to the seat in front of you or the panic bar there, because it feels like you're going to fall off the seat every time the bus makes a left-hand turn. You can feel every time the bus accelerates or brakes. We're fortunate that we're by ourselves in the back, because it can get very noisy back here, particularly if you've got a wheelchair ramp. They're very rattly and noisy, and you can imagine if you had half a dozen passengers in the back or clients, it's quite distracting for the driver. The streets we're going in are very narrow, and you can probably see the trees in the background. When you're in the back seat, they particularly look close, and it's quite disconcerting. What we'd like to see is all new drivers take the opportunity to put yourself in your passenger's position and experience what they do, and we hope that that will make you a smoother driver and appreciate what they might be experiencing. It's also quite stuffy in the back of these, even with air conditioning on. It's still a big space to keep cool or warm. None of the windows open. When looking for parking spots, keep an eye out for low tree branches. Watch out for bollards, posts and poles, particularly as you reverse out of a parking spot. It really pays to have a quick walk around the vehicle to identify any hidden hazards before you start reversing. What to do if you're involved in an incident. Your organisation may already have procedures for this, so if they do, refer to those. If you have any questions, talk to your supervisor. If you are involved in an incident, one of the first things you need to do is stop and check that everyone's safe and free from injury. If anyone is injured, call an ambulance on 000. Call police if the incident is severe or the other party has left the scene without providing their details. Photos, photos, photos. I can't stress how important they are of the scene, of any damage to your vehicle, damage to their vehicle, damage to other people's property. Take lots of photos and try and get their registration number in the shot. We'll need the other party's details, like their name, address, contact number, license number, and the rego of the vehicle. If it's safe to do so, take a photo of their driver's license. That's got just about everything we need. And provide that information to your supervisor, whoever looks after your fleet claims. Learning from experience. Are you nervous about your first drive in a different vehicle? Well, I can tell you, that's very normal. But there's a few things you can do. Where possible, buddy up with an experienced colleague. Ask them to help you get familiar both with the vehicle and the places that you'll often be driving to. Ask them about any hazards you should be aware of, like gates or posts or parking spots or where not to park. Learn from their experience. Chances are they felt just like you on their first drive. If you need more support, speak up. Ask your supervisor if you need more support. Whenever you need to operate a vehicle that differs greatly from the one you usually drive, take the time to familiarise yourself first. Don't wait until you've got clients or passengers on board. Consider the things that we've talked about in these sessions, and if you need more help, talk to your supervisor or your experienced colleagues. We want you to have a good experience, be kind to yourself, and most of all, be safe out there. Thanks for watching.